Tom. Hi, Robert. How you guys doing?
All right,
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Robert, I think I'm gonna start with you. I wonder, like the episode Avita saying, it seems like you die like 1,000 deaths, and I don't want to be morbid, but you have like your own like afterlife that you kind of created. Like, if you could create what the afterlife would look like for yourself, like how would you like what would have spent eternity? Like, would you have a TV and
maybe a little TV in the corner just in case, or maybe like one of them big projectors. You can just roll it down and watch films on a big screen.
Yeah, you can have anything you want.
It would look very tropical. I think my heaven, green and lush and full of moisture. You know, lots of trees and lots of the sounds of animals, and lots of insects and just flowers, and it would just be very naturistic. My heaven, I think. Yeah. And then in the corner there'd be a cooler full of different brands of pale ales. So I'd just be eternally tanked, walking around
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, it'd be
with
like
Shaka there.
Yeah, Shaka would be there going like this, like, scratch me, will you?
So,
like that, yeah.
Thank
you for that question. It was a unique question.
That was a good question.
I haven't had that question at all.
Thank you.
Hey, did Dad tell you why he was calling them his kids?
He sure did. You ready? Dad was so repulsed by us back in Texas that he adopted an entirely different group of children, just so that he didn't have to raise us.
Well, that's just peak Dad, huh?
Isn't it?
So he just didn't want us anymore?
Did he ever?
See, I told you we shouldn't have asked him for help in '63.
I think you're all missing the big picture here. Dad didn't adopt us as kids, he changed the timeline. So who knows what else is different now?
Shouldn't you know?
Sorry, Allison, but it might take me more than 20 minutes and a traumatic brain injury to figure this all out. Is that okay with you?
No, actually, it's not.
Tom, this character, this season, you kind of remind me of when you played Marcus in Tormented. I'll just say that without giving a spoiler about, how this lines up. Like, how did it feel for your character to have the arc it does in this season, going from Meet the Family to Oblivion?
Yeah, it was. I think it was great because Luther lets go of a lot of the things that, the arcs that I've been playing in previous seasons have all been about the trauma, and it's all been about him dealing with those things in the past and his dad. And for a lot of this season, he forgets about all of that, and we see this fun side of Luther. We see who Luther is when he gets laid and falls in love, who he really is, I think. The Luther we've seen so far has been the Luther that's had the oppression of his father and the stress and responsibility of being number one. And he loses that early on in this season, and we get to see who he really is, I think, underneath that kind of tough exterior, that traumatized exterior.
I wonder, since we're all the way into this season, coming from season one, as actors, knowing that Elliot transitioned, Vanya Victor is still on Vanya's character. Did you guys have to adjust at all in story to who your character was to reflect the change? Besides the language, was there anything in preparation on how you deal with this Victor character as opposed to how you dealt with Vanya in the previous seasons?
For the key factor, I think, for us was that there shouldn't be any difference because Victor is the same person, and Elliot is the same person. So there's no change there for us because your relationships are exactly the same. There is it's seamless.
Yeah, that's true. And we got the opportunity to speak to a very, very interesting, very passionate organization called GLAD, which I was very glad of, actually, having spoken to them. Much more in the, it was encouraged because, you're going to work with a trans person in the workplace, it was that sort of thing. So it was just speaking to people in GLAD about their own journeys and, what it's like, and understanding it a little bit more, and just sitting there and listening. And so, but the Vanya Victor, that's interesting sense. No, I think Klaus still treated him as he would have treated Vanya before. I think when when Victor tells Klaus and Five and Diego at breakfast, it's just over breakfast kind of thing. It's how I always felt and saw myself. I think Klaus is genuinely more taken by the haircut than the transition. Like genuinely, it's like, all right, that means you can have that haircut. Cool, you know. And in that sense, it's, I suppose there's not a lot of the burden of importance loaded on top of it. It's just the way the person is, you know.
Well, I love these stories, and I was telling one of the other rooms that it gives me hope to see you guys overcome these insurmountable odds every season, and to see that, you know, when you go through, it's just like, you know, you can kind of relate to it. So I love the characters you guys play, and I love the bird that's over there. He's definitely enjoying that stroke.
Yeah. She's looking for attention.
Yeah, she's a fuss pot.
And cuddles, yeah.
But can't wait to talk to you guys again. Thank you.
Lovely interview.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was great.